Dang, this bean soup smells good, but I wonder what would go good with it. What about cornbread? Let's go get the ingredients. Ah, crap. That's right, I couldn't find eggs at the store. I couldn't find eggs anywhere, and if I could find them, they're super expensive. I still want to make cornbread, but what can I do? That's right, I forgot I had this cookbook, 55 Ways to Save Eggs. And look, there's a cornbread recipe. Here's the old way that shows you how to make it with eggs, and here's the new way that shows you how to make it without eggs. Let's make this and see how it turns out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix our dry ingredients. And I will post this recipe for you guys down below in the video's description box, so you'll have that. So there in goes my cornmeal. It's not very much flour, just a quarter cup. Whoa, just a quarter cup of flour. And then, so they are replacing the egg with baking powder, lots of baking powder. So we'll see how this turns out. Oh, shoot. Just a second. Okay, got that lid off. So instead of the 3 teaspoons of baking powder, it's calling for 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then sugar. And then a teaspoon of salt. Where's the salt? Right here. Okay, we'll mix that up. And it just says to cook this in a hot oven. It doesn't specify a temperature because this book is from 1917. So eggs must have been kind of expensive in 1917, at least in wherever this is by the Royal Baking Powder Company from New York. So maybe eggs were really expensive back then or hard to come by. I don't know. But who knew? History repeats itself, right? So, and I do have chickens, but my chickens aren't laying right now. So I'm having to buy eggs when I can find them. And they are not cheap. All right. So anyways, like I was saying, this book does not specify an oven temperature, obviously, so I'm gonna cook mine at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I will let you know how that works out. It just says bake in a hot oven. All right, so we're going to add 2 tablespoons of melted shortening and then 1.5 cups of milk. So let me go melt that shortening real quick. Okay, the shortening's in the microwave, so it's 1.5 cups of milk. 1, 2. And this is a 1/2 cup measurement. That's why you see me doing it 3 times. Okay. I don't think I've ever made a cornbread recipe that had such little flour in it. So I'm really actually kind of curious how this is gonna be. Shortening still isn't melted. And it doesn't specify what type of pan. It just says to pour into a well-greased pan or muffin tin. I think I'm going to do an 8 by 8 inch square pan, metal pan. That'll just grease really well, obviously. All right, let me get the shortening. Okay, in goes the shortening. And that's just Crisco, just vegetable shortening. Okay, let me go hunt for that pan. I have no idea where it is. Okay, I greased my pan. And let's just scrape this into it. The recipe also doesn't say how long this bakes for, and of course that'll be dependent upon the size of your pan and your oven temperature. Kind of even that out. So I guess I'm gonna set it for 20 minutes. I mean, I know it'll take longer than that, and then we'll just go from there. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes and it looks like it's done. All right, give you a little close-up of that. Smells like cornbread. All right, so we're just gonna let this cool and then Dan will be home in about an hour and then we'll taste it. What are you doing, Dan?
I'm going to butter my biscuit.
Dan's buttering the cornbread because he says dry cornbread is nasty, but that butter's really cold.
Yeah, it was in the windowsill and it's freezing out.
It's like in the 30s, which is pretty cold for Western Washington. That honey is crystallized. I don't think it's going to squeeze. Can you just taste it without all that stuff so you can just tell people if the basic recipe's good?
Yeah.
And then you can eat your honey cornbread?
Here. Is that better?
Yeah, just try it.
It's like cornbread.
You would never be able to tell. I ate a little piece and I thought it was great. You would never be able to tell that didn't have eggs in it.
Oh, really?
No, it's from
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
this cookbook, 55 Ways to Save Eggs, which is from 1917. It was put out by the Royal Baking Powder Company, which I don't I don't know if that's still around, the Royal Baking Powder. I've never seen it. I don't think that still exists. If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah.
Butter and honey is the only way to eat cornbread.
Yeah, it is pretty good. But this has a bunch of recipes in it that either reduce the amount of eggs or eliminate them completely. And in these eggless trying times, I thought this would be a good cookbook to highlight for people. So if you have any requests to see if I have any like recipes in here, specific recipes, there's a lot of cake recipes in here. Let me know and I can look for it for you, and I don't mind doing a video on it. Yeah, but anyways, from 1917. So I don't know what was going on with eggs in 1917. But they must have been a precious commodity. Chocolate layer cake? Yeah. Or expensive. Oh, it's kind of falling apart. Anyways, excellent cornbread. Would never know. All right, well, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.